Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder what that means for the house and all the property. Uh-huh. Wow, I mean, we've had it for, I don't know how long. Oh, wow, since I was about 5. Oh, my God. I, I just don't know if now's the right time to sell. I mean, the market and all. But, yeah, well, my plan is to research it before anything happens. I've got some calls to make, and then we'll either hold or flip the switch. Look, yeah, I gotta run. The Commons meeting is about to kick in, and... Okay, listen. This project is as personal as it gets, okay? It's as personal as our family property. No room for error on this one. I'm on it. Okay. Great, thanks. All right, talk later. Bye.
Sandra!
Richie, good to see you.
Good to see you too. How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
Oh, you know, same old, same old. Subs, unions, lawyers.
Lawyers.
Can't live with them, can't shoot them.
And work?
You know what? If I had $1 for every decision I made every day, I could buy the Eagles. And I maybe could get them a decent pick.
Okay, do you talk about or think about anything else other than football?
Flyers and Phillies.
Oh, God, no. Cliff. How are you?
Crazy busy, but good. Things are picking up. I got to tell you, Sandra, this is a project I am looking forward to. Creighton Compass is going to be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to be on the team.
Hi.
Oh, Alec. Good to see you.
Hey, Richie. How you doing?
How are you? Good to see you. How you
Good to
been?
see you too. Very well, thanks.
Good.
Hi, Alex Shore, architect. You are?
Clifford Frazier, structural engineer. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm looking forward to working with everyone on this project. This should be a good one.
Hi, everyone. Am I late? Sorry. Some funding issues that needed my attention.
Oh, it's fine. Well, now that we're all here, let's get started. We'll have some brief introductions a little later on, but I'd like you guys to take a look at your spec sheets because I'd like to do a high-level review of the job. Creighton Commons, named after the owner, Wilton Creighton. This is by far the largest restoration and new construction project that we have ever seen in New Willoughby. It starts with the restoration of the Creighton pencil factory, which sits on the bank of the Hannock River. Now, you guys know this is a 135-year-old brick, mortar, and steel building. I mean, a Sherman tank couldn't knock this thing down. We'll transform it into the anchor of the newly revitalized Hannock waterfront. Bottom line, this will be the center of the Commons. Now, it's a solid structure, but it needs significant interior restoration. The surrounding waterfront and property will be turned into a revitalization zone. And from that, we're going to transform it into a destination area for tourists, city residents, families. Just so you know, Mr. Creighton is personally funding 65% of this project. And the remaining 35% will be given by private investors. The factory has been reconfigured to accommodate retail space, residential units. Then we are building a new structure that will be attached to the existing one. And that's where it gets very exciting. We're going to have a museum. We're going to have a performing arts center, restaurants, a large green park, children's playgrounds, a man-made lake, and a 6-tier parking structure. I mean, New Willoughby will never be the same. It's pretty impressive, yes?
Yes.
And we're the dream team, not the Eagles. Yes, the Creighton Commons dream team. I know you all have done your research, so if we could do some short intros and if you could share some of your thoughts about the project. Cliff, would you mind going first? Can you start?
Sure, Sandra. Clifford Frazier, structural engineer. Been with PCC 7 years. In the field for 20. Originally from Northern California. Expertise in every kind of structure, old, new, dilapidated, weird, you name it. Lots of geology and structural strengthening experience, you know, earthquakes. If you catch me rattling on about static versus dynamic loads, please stop me because I can go on ad infinitum. And you'll be in REM sleep before you know it. So here's what I think. This is a great project to work on. It's going to completely transform the community. Toughest part from an engineering perspective, demolition and renovation. Pencil factory requires extensive reparations, concrete reinforcement, waterproofing, crack repairs, structural strengthening, all in short order. And the new structure, on the other hand, has some challenges. But if they're spec'd right, and I think that everyone at this table will ensure that, we can crank it out right quick. I'm really interested in hearing what Alec has to say on his side of the aisle. And don't be surprised if I bolt out of here screaming after hearing his pitch. I really am looking forward to getting to know you and collaborating. This is a special project. We'll succeed.
I second that, Cliff. It's crazy special. I guess that brings it over to you, Alec.
Be glad to, sure. And Clifford, don't worry. Once we attach the 100-foot grand piano to the facade of the Performing Arts Center, it gets a lot easier. Okay, so, now, most of you know me from other projects. Alec Shore, architect. Been with PCC for 12 years, about 20 years in the field as well. I've worked with some pretty well-known projects.
You did the Dolly Museum in Tampa.
That's one of them. Did some homework. I appreciate that. I've got some fantastic concepts for this structure as well, mainly around the idea of water flow, fusing history with modernity. I see the Commons, including the historic factory, open to natural light, very bright, lots of open space. It's a world-class campus where old meets new, time and space fuse, water flows. We commission local and state artists to create murals on the glass facades, flooring, walls, anywhere to beautify the structure. So we'll need flat glass, flooring, sealants, flowable moldable concrete, like that. The Performing Arts Center, like the Met, sleek, modern, open. All the grounds and structures follow suit to flow in concert with the Hannock. Flow and aesthetics are critical here. I'm not just saying that as an architect. This is one of those rare projects where time and space and funding align. That said, hurdles exist, not only financial, but specs, terrain, environmental concerns. All need to be considered. I'm here to make Creighton Commons a reality, and it will be. Is Clifford still in the room?
Barely. Is it too early for a martini?
Okay, no drinking until this project is finished, which by my calculations is about 4 years. Okay, Richie.
Oh. Rich Rangel, 25 years in the field, engineer, mechanical, structural by trade. This project, my friends, is a gem. Something like this comes along every 5 years, maybe 10. Now, not that I haven't worked on projects this big before, but this one's special. The transformation, the community, the people, and I've seen the design. It's amazing. I can see the transformation, like it's right before my eyes. And Will Creighton and I, we go way back, and I know for a fact that this one's important to him on a personal level. So it has to be right, and it will be. It will be. You get me the specs, I line up the players, we suss out the waste, we make money. I got Grace in my back pocket, there's Dow, GAF, Tenet, there are other players as well. Tremco, BASF, we'll check them out, all of them. But know this, no one is hamstringing us, not on my watch. Creighton Commons will be the centerpiece of the Hannock revitalization and the crown jewel of New Willoughby. And I am looking forward to working with every one of you.
Thank you, Rich. We're looking forward to working with you too. You know, I think it's important that we keep an open mind to contractors, suppliers, subs, I mean, in general.
Oh, yeah, like I said, we'll check everybody.
Good. Good to hear. Sally.
Yes, hello. Sally Cross, former EVP in commercial real estate at U.S. Bank in Minnesota. Like all of you, I have 20 plus years experience, but in banking and finance. I personally represent, protect, manage, oversee Mr. Creighton's finances, his investments, cash flow, interest, taxes, property, business deals, market conditions, you name it, basically anything that you can assign a dollar sign to. He's a wonderful man that I've worked with for the last 5 years, as of the 12th of last month. Everyone knows about his success. Everyone knows that he can be demanding. He expects nothing less with Creighton Commons. So we are going to have to ensure that all the T's get crossed and all the I's get dotted.
Thank you, Sally. I'm Sandra Horn, and I have an architectural background. I've been with PCC for 15 years. Before this, I worked at NJD in Richmond, Virginia. I represent Mr. Creighton, as I've worked on several of his projects, albeit not as big as this one, over the years. I know him very well. So welcome, everyone. I am glad to lead and be a part of this team. Let's get started. Are there any issues we need to discuss up front? Alec, where are we with the zoning ordinance?
Still waiting on it. It's delayed because the city says that the proposed park and the new construction are both in potential flood zones. Hannock hasn't flooded in 80 years, but they're taking a very conservative stance. I can understand their concern, but it can delay things considerably.
It's understandable, but a big pain. Town hasn't seen a project this size in possibly 100 years, possibly more. Just have to expect some micromanagement. I think we're just going to have to ride this one out.
Ride this one out. For how long?
At least until the 15th. The next council meeting is on the 15th.
15th? That's 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks is too long.
2 weeks won't hurt us much. My concern is if it's not resolved then and it gets pushed to the next month's council meeting.
Right.
If that happens, it'll threaten some of the timing of our funding covenants, and that could create some significant delays.
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to get to the town. I'm going to get to the council, and I'll attend the next council meeting, and they'll listen because they have to.
Okay, thanks, Rich. Thanks. I'd like to take a more metered approach on this. Cliff, you have some contacts on the city council, don't you?
Yeah, I got to know a couple of council members from my work in the transportation center. I have good rapport with both, and they both have considerable sway at City Hall.
Well, they would have to be aware of the funding structure and the valuation of the commons. I mean, I'd like to think that.
You mean common sense for the commons? Yeah, one more thing. Unfortunately, people don't always use common sense when they're operating, especially in municipalities. That said, I think I can get them over the zoning hump.
Good. Cliff, I'd like you to go to the city council meeting and work your magic.
I can do that.
Okay. The delay is a real concern, but I think building rapport early is the way to go. My instincts tell me that's what's going to pay off.
Environmental issues.
What?
Environmental issues.
Yeah, okay, what about them? Are you talking about the runoff to the Hannock?
Yeah, the runoff to the Hannock, impervious surfaces, asbestos removal, the demolition guidelines, blah, 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 blah. And environmentalists, frankly, piss me off. They slow things down. They think we're building a nuclear reactor. It's a friggin' nightmare.
Okay, now wait. I thought the core EPA issues were the runoff to the Hannock. Now, I mean, the Hannock's been under the toxic reduction plan since the 70s.
Yes, it's the main issue, but these clowns will drive you to drink.
Martini, please.
Is asbestos really an issue?
Well, it is if you don't take it out correctly. But, I mean, in all fairness, my guys follow the guidelines and we never really had a problem with that, so I'm just venting.
Okay.
The foundation runoff, that's the main issue.
He's right. Runoff is a real problem.
How so?
We don't have all the data yet. Geotech is supposed to be running the subsoil boring next week. One of the boreholes is over 200 feet.
200 feet?
Yeah, 200 feet. That's more than 60 meters.
How about the other ones?
6 to 8 more at 20 to 30 feet. Now look, my contacts tell me that the geology is sound, that there are no aquifers at risk, and there's really very little chance of runoff toxicity.
Yeah, I'll believe that when I see the report.
Me too. Look, I really do believe we're okay. I think the city's just, being the city.
Well, the city will love us when we complete the project, but not until then. Right now, we're the bad guys. All right, Alec, what about the factory roof?
Green for the factory, white reflective on the others.
Green and white.
Green is where it's at. The idea is to have an outdoor cafe up there in the spring and summer months. Music, entertainment, kids park, horticulture. It blends old with new, right there with the revitalization of the community. For the rest, white reflective. It's the most aesthetically pleasing and efficient.
Well, more efficient, but more costly. We may have to rethink things.
And LEED certification.
Right.
Uncle Will wants the green roof. And he loves the rooftop concept. I mean, a meeting place for the people, it has to happen.
Yes, it does. Mr. C wants it. So do the investors. It's important.
Understood.
Okay. Any other pressing issues? All right, here's what we need to do while we've got some time. I would like to invite in some suppliers to see what they have to offer. You know, nothing bad, you know, just an initial meeting to learn more about them, their team, you know, their solutions. It's important to meet the team, to see who they are, how they tick, how they present. My instincts tell me, particularly with this project, we need to be flexible with suppliers. You know, the more options and solutions we have, the better in the long run.
And the better from a cost savings perspective.
Oh, indeed.
How about Wholesome, Old Castle, Dexotex, Firestone, Dow?
This sounds good. Dexotex, who are they? What do they do?
Flooring.
Oh, flooring, of course.
Terrazzo, epoxy, ESD for computer rooms, like that. They also do murals, you know, embedded into the floor.
Oh, for that, Stoneheart and Sika, those are the right guys. Resinous, epoxy coating, limitless colors, and design options.
Any others?
Sika, BASF, Grace. These guys claim to be one-stop shops. We should probably start there.
They'll give you top-of-the-line applications. I mean, the high-end technologies, but costly, very costly.
That's never good.
No, but let's keep an open mind. You know, take advantage of the little time we have and meet the teams. Cliff, can you start by getting Sika and BASF in next week? Maybe Grace the following?
Sure, I can do that. You know, why don't we have BASF and Sika present on the same day back-to-back? That way we get an immediate comparison. We'll start with BASF and then move on to Sika.
Sounds like a plan. I like it. When can we get started?
As soon as we're done here.
Excellent. Well, now I'd like to share some interesting things that have played out in the media.